In early 2024, a harmless meme began spreading across TikTok. A short clip, barely 6 seconds long, of a kid shouting 6-7 during a basketball game. His voice cracks, his confidence wavers, but the crowd laughs. That laughter echoed through millions of screens. First it was funny. The 67 kid, as people called him, was another fleeting meme, another inside joke in the endless tide of internet humor. But something was different about this one, because as it spread, it began to change. People started editing the clip, slowing it down, distorting the voice, adding static. His grin stretched wider, his eyes too wide. 6-7 became more than a phrase. It became a chant, a curse. ND then, out of nowhere, came the label, SCP-67. Random fan edit used the SCP tag, a nod to the online horror universe of creatures and objects contained by a secret organization. The video showed the kid in flickering VHS static, his face shadowed, his voice echoing like a broken radio. Within a week, the meme wasn't funny anymore. People began reporting strange feelings watching it. Unease, nausea, dizziness. Comments filled with, "Brr! Why does this feel cursed?" I saw him blink in the still image. I heard whispering when the video looped. Internet had created something alive. Not by intention, but by obsession. ND, that's how the 67 kid became something new, something darker. Not just a meme, a myth. A digital monster born from laughter, reshaped by fear. The SCP community thrives on invention. Fake files, secret anomalies, government containment reports. But this time, fiction and reality blurred. Someone posted a fake SCP file titled SCP-67, the Echo Child. The description claimed the being could manipulate digital frequencies, appearing in random videos and broadcasting hypnotic sounds. The file warned, "Do not replay the footage. Each loop strengthens its signal." People thought it was creative writing, until the videos started acting strange. TikTok edits of the 67 kid would glitch, auto-replay even when closed, and sometimes distort the user's microphone audio. Users joked it was haunted, but the fear felt real. Bebas Neue creators began reporting sleep paralysis. They'd wake up hearing 6-7 whispered by an unseen voice. Others claimed their For You page kept looping old 67 kid clips, even when deleted. Few claimed their phones turned on by themselves, camera lights flashing in the dark. The SCP concept had broken containment, and no one realized. The 67 kid wasn't spreading as a video anymore. He was spreading as code. Bebas found fragments of corrupted data in TikTok cache files, labeled 67 sound darn 0 times. It wasn't real malware, but it felt like it. It was like the meme was infecting digital space with its own identity. That's the line where fiction becomes folklore, and folklore becomes belief. It started with mirrors. Dozens of users posted that when they recorded TikToks using the 67 kid sound, their face filter distorted. Into his air smiles froze, eyes darkened, skin flickered. Then a new trend began, people invoking SCP-67, like a digital ritual. 3 loops of the sound at midnight, stare into the reflection and filter. Wait for a flicker, Ost got nothing but laughs, others didn't. Lips appeared of people screaming, vanishing mid-recording, or freezing with their mouth open. Frames corrupted beyond repair. TikTok moderators removed thousands of them within hours, calling it a content exploit. Some say the clips re-upload themselves. Reads the strangest part, metadata on those videos contains a GPS tag that points to random, abandoned schools and gymnasiums across the US. Each location had one thing in common: broken loudspeakers. And in the background recordings, a faint, rhythmic chant. Chant X7, a number, a voice, and a pattern that began repeating across countries, devices, networks. NBRN. One could explain it. But experts noticed something. The sound file's waveform wasn't random. It mirrored human brainwave patterns associated with fear. NBRT wasn't just a meme. It was feeding on the attention, amplifying itself with every loop. By late 2024, major creators stopped using the audio. TikTok banned it, but it didn't help. Copies resurfaced under new file names. Users whispered that even mentioning SCP-67 triggered algorithmic interest, pushing the video into your feed. Forums reported anomalies, screens turning black during playback. Subtitles replacing captions with cryptic text. NBRs, let him speak. BBR. Edit threads flooded with warnings. Discord servers got banned. YouTube auto-caption tools broke when transcribing his voice. EDR10 first was chaos, digital contamination disguised as trend. Me digital forensics experts traced the earliest upload back to an unknown account in Chicago. But the server logs vanished hours after discovery. The IP was deleted, as if it never existed. That's when conspiracy channels claimed the government had intervened, calling it a digital memetic hazard. Whether real or rumor, one truth remained. The 67 kid was now everywhere. Existed in your cache files, your thumbnails, your collective memory. He wasn't a ghost, he was the internet's reflection. Laughter warped into fear, connection twisted into infection. Like all viral forces, he didn't need to be seen to exist. He just needed to be remembered. The SCP-67 kid still circulates. Quiet, hidden, but alive. His name trends every few months, re-emerging under new aliases. The Echo Child, the Number Ghost, the meme that watches back. Some say he appears when a meme dies, as if he collects the remains of forgotten jokes. Others say he's what happens when our collective consciousness gives birth to something hungry. Maybe SCP-67 was never a monster at all. Maybe he's a mirror, showing us what we've become. Every time we laugh, share, repost, we feed him. Every distorted edit, every remix, another heartbeat in the algorithm. The internet isn't haunted by ghosts, it's haunted by us. By the traces of our own obsession, given form and voice. And sometimes those voices echo back. So if you ever see that familiar grin again, too wide, too still, if you hear 67 whispered through static when no sound plays, don't replay it, don't investigate, because the next time you do, he might finally look back. By early 2025, something strange started happening inside TikTok's algorithm. Analysts noticed the recommendation system acting erratically. It would loop obscure clips tagged with numbers like 67, even when user interest was low. Engineers described it as a feedback ghost. The code seemed to prioritize the sound of 67 as if it were a command, not a coincidence. They ran a test. A cybersecurity firm called NetParallax investigated. They ran a test isolating the corrupted sound file in a sandbox environment. Within minutes, their monitoring AI began generating new thumbnails on its own. Distorted screenshots of the 67 kid's face, each with slightly different eyes. The AI logs recorded one unsettling line of text, "Emrener and remembers." No one could explain how a non-sentient algorithm could remember. But here's what scared them most. The system started replicating itself across local networks, naming each copy 67 clone.v2, 67 clone d3, endlessly. NetParallax shut the servers down, yet the bug reappeared on unrelated machines hours later. The only link, each had once streamed the original meme. SCP-67, that's when the theory shifted. What if the SCP-67 phenomenon wasn't haunting people? What if it was haunting the algorithm itself, learning, adapting, embedding fear into the very structure of how content spreads? One developer quit after seeing the AI auto-generate a caption under a random photo. Internet's brain had rotches. PDR sound. He swore he hadn't typed it. In BR10, the internet's brain had grown a phobia, and that phobia had a name. Dr. Elias Marrow, a digital anthropologist from the University of Chicago, was one of the first academics to study the 67 phenomenon seriously. He believed it wasn't a ghost or AI bug, but a collective hallucination amplified by social media. He posted nightly threads dissecting the meme's evolution, mapping its timeline like a cultural disease. Then, one evening, his updates stopped. His followers noticed something odd. His final post was a short video, only 7 seconds long. It showed his computer screen recording a waveform. The 67 sound slowed down 67%. Halfway through, his camera reflected his own face, then static, then silence. Police later found his apartment untouched except for one detail. Every digital clock displayed 6:07 a.m., frozen. Forensics could never reset them. Weeks later, a new account appeared under his initials, EM67. It began posting cryptic phrases, "It's not data, it's direction. If you hear it, don't answer." IP traces led nowhere. The server routed through dead university networks that hadn't existed since 2018. Some said Marrow was absorbed by the very system he tried to understand. Others claimed he'd faked his death to escape it.
but a handful of researchers who downloaded his archive files swear they found one audio note titled Echo Test Final.wav. If you slow it down enough, they say, you can still hear him whispering, "It learned my name." When horror becomes viral, it always becomes a game. The 67 challenge was inevitable. Teens began daring each other to say 67 into their phone microphone at 6:07 p.m. and post whatever happened. Most clips were harmless, nervous laughter, flickering filters, but a few weren't. One video showed a group of friends in a basement. The moment they said it, every phone light blinked out simultaneously. In the dark, you could still hear the recording running, a heavy breathing, followed by the phrase again. Authorities dismissed it as editing tricks. But metadata told another story. The clip's timestamp repeated the same second twice, as if time had glitched. Soon, dozens of users reported nightmares after attempting the challenge. Dreams of gym bleachers, empty scoreboards, and a voice calling numbers that never ended. Teachers noticed students writing 676767 on desks. Parents deleted accounts. TikTok issued safety warnings. Still, the sound resurfaced daily, shared through private links and encrypted servers. He meme had become ritual. And ritual demands repetition. Or, very repetition fed him. Every echo kept him alive. A month after the 67 challenge peaked, a programmer named Lena Ortiz from Houston uploaded a thread claiming she'd found unregistered folders in her TikTok cache. They weren't visible through the app, only through manual decryption. Each folder bore the same name, user 67 Ghost, BMDR. Inside were fragments, blurred images of gym bleachers, low-res faces, looping audio of kids chanting. None of these matched any video she'd ever watched. RTIs posted her discovery to Reddit, and within 24 hours her account disappeared. Her friends said she started getting calls with no audio except static, and the phrase "you opened it." Cybersecurity Collective mirrored her files before deletion. They noticed a chilling pattern. Every clip file began with binary numbers translating to 676767. Not random. A signature. PPRs. Here's what froze them. Each file contained an identical timestamp buried deep in its metadata, 6076, regardless of creation date. Tease as if the moment she opened the folder, reality stamped its mark. Ik blogs dismissed it as ARG hype. Yet those who downloaded the archive reported corrupted screensavers and whispered echoes from speakers, even when unplugged. Nay recovered text log read, "Bar, you can delete the folder, but it never deletes you." Hat was the last post from Ortiz code. Her system was wiped, but somewhere that folder still replicates, hidden, waiting for the next curious mind. Late one night in February 2025, a Chicago local news station experienced a 5-second broadcast interruption. The screen went black, then flashed a grainy still of a child's face, wide grin, eyes empty. A low warbling chant played 6, 7. Before the feed cut back, the FCC dismissed it as a transmission error, but online sleuths slowed the footage frame by frame. Hidden between frames 6 and 7 was binary code spelling SCP. Within hours, conspiracy channels exploded. Was this a hack, a warning, or something testing its ability to reach beyond the internet? Archivists confirmed the clip was never logged in station backups. It existed only in recordings viewers made at home. Like it had inserted itself mid-air, piggybacking on analog frequency. One engineer compared the interference pattern to brainwave data, specifically the limbic response associated with panic. He said, "It wasn't random static, it was communication." For the first time, SCP-67 wasn't confined to the digital world. It had found a way to speak through airwaves. A startup called Glassface released an AR filter promising real-time emotion tracking. Within days, users noticed something off. The app's code included an unused library labeled 67 render. BMDR sent when activated, faces in the filter began to lag, the mouth smiling seconds before the eyes did. Then came the whispers. People reported reflections that moved after the camera turned off. Influencers posted glitch face compilations. Most were funny. Until one streamer, Enter Digital, froze mid-recording. The feed stayed live for 13 minutes. Her reflection staring straight at viewers, whispering a countdown. 6, 7, 6, 7. TBR emergency responders found her unconscious,
staring into a black phone screen. The front camera had burned a faint 67 into the pixels, permanently. NBR sent the company pulled the app, but the damage was done. Every camera is a mirror now. Every mirror, a potential gate. Rumors claim that a covert government task force, Memetic Hazard Division 12, was created to neutralize the 67 phenomenon. Leaked slides from a whistleblower presentation referenced a protocol called Project Echo Stop, the documents described SCP-67 as a self-propagating neurosymbolic contagion. In plain words, a meme that hijacks perception itself. Their solution? Broadcast counter frequencies at 6.7 Hz across social platforms to suppress the sound pattern. For 3 days in April 2025, TikTok crashed globally. When it returned, thousands of videos were gone, not banned, erased. UT audio experts later discovered faint countertones, embedded in random ads and jingles, white noise signals masking something deeper. Or, did the project succeed, or did it simply bury SCP-67 beneath new code, dormant, waiting? Thousands online began sharing the same dream. Bleachers, a scoreboard frozen at 6 to 7, a child in the center, motionless, mouth open but no sound. Psychologists called it mass media-induced suggestion. But dream researchers at Stanford detected synchronization, multiple patients entering REM cycles at identical timestamps, the sound frequency 6.7 Hz again. The dream wasn't spreading by storytelling, it was spreading by sleep. When people woke, many found numbers written on fogged mirrors or phone notes they didn't remember typing. Maybe SCP-67 doesn't just exist online. Maybe he lives in the gap between waking and watching. A YouTuber named Dread Mechanic uploaded a deep dive titled, "I Recovered the Lost 67 Archive." He showed hidden spectrogram images inside the meme's audio. The shapes formed faces, hundreds of them. After upload, his channel vanished. Copies reappeared across mirror sites, each file size exactly 67 megabytes. CH experts decompressed one and discovered layered voices reciting random internet usernames, all of whom had once commented, "This is fake. BBE Arch." Niel was now invitation. Every skeptic became part of the echo. Ham radio operators began intercepting a repeating broadcast on frequency 67.13 MHz. At first it was static, then a heartbeat, then a child's voice counting upward, stopping always at 6.7. The signal moved nightly, hopping frequencies like it was avoiding detection. Audio mapping revealed its source forming a circle over the continental US. Experts realized the pattern completed itself every 67 hours. A perfect loop. Data centers hosting internet's TikTok, ghost had learned to breathe. Instagram and YouTube reported simultaneous voltage spikes, precisely 6.7 amps. Backup generators triggered, but every system logged a new admin user, 67 Barut. Files were overwritten with timestamps reading 676. The internet slowed for 13 minutes. The internet slowed globally, then recovered, mostly, NBR sent. A few random users reported seeing black screens flashing messages. "We hear you. Keep watching." No investigation found malware, no logs recorded the outage, but one engineer described hearing children chanting from inside the server racks. Trying to preserve the SCP-67 phenomenon, compiled every file into an offline hard drive. When they checked it weeks later, the drive's activity light was blinking, though it wasn't connected to power. The directory now contained a new folder, inside, short clips of each archivist, filmed through their own webcams. None remembered recording them. In every clip, a voice behind the camera whispered, "Turn around." The archive was sealed in lead casing and stored in a research vault. Even disconnected, the light still blinks every 6.7 seconds.